So I decided to go to Lake Poway. This is where I started learning bass fishing. And the boat dock's been closed all year because of damage they suffered during a windstorm, and parts are just not available. Talking to the guy, I asked the guy at the concession stand how the fishing was, and he said there's actually not enough people fishing here to even get a reading on how the fishing is. So it's a Wednesday morning, there's only one other guy at the lake right now, a few people hiking, but I figured I'd walk around the lake, tell you a little bit about my history here, and see if we can get some. Nothing yet, but I can see a ton of fish. I hope this could be fun.
I got a couple of scars on my heart and a couple of lines on my face, but I still love. I got a rusty harp in my pocket and a guitar with one string, but I still love. 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 I got a wildflower for my baby from a vacant lot today. 'Cause I still love. I still love. Yeah, my wings are worn and dirty. They're probably mud anyway. I can't fly. I still love. I still love. I still love. Yeah, I still love.
So I got over here to jump off and I'm throwing a fluke, and I've already missed 3 fish. I guess I just got too excited. Let's see if we can get some more.
The sun it shines for everyone. Ask for nothing in return. Still love. I still love. I still love. I still love. I still
Biggest bass you'll ever will see. Pretty green though. I was hoping for bigger right here, but this is I'm at Lake Poway in the back corner. This is a tiny fish, but this is the spot where I caught my first 10-pound bass. And I actually caught a 10-pound bass and an 8-pound bass in the same day. It's one of my favorite days fishing ever. Caught 16 fish over 3 pounds right here, right off this log boom. I was one of the only people out on the lake. It was a super rainy day. I had just graduated high school. Oh, I even lost a bigger fish that day. So much fun. It's actually the first place I caught a 6-pound bass on a plastic worm. I've caught so many big fish right here. And then for years it wasn't nearly as good. Too much fishing pressure, but apparently fishing pressure's down. So this is where I learned how to fish for bass. I'd have my parents drop me off here when I was like 13 years old, 14 years old, 15 years old, until I got my driver's license, and then I was able to come here by myself. But I learned how to catch my first bass on a plastic worm here. I would come here after school, had plenty of fun times doing that, catfishing, bringing home my homework with blood all over it, turning in my homework with blood all over it. Some of the best memories of my childhood and teen years are here. I think I'm gonna call it a day and go back and have some breakfast. I was saying earlier about how I had one of the best fishing days of my life here, and it was March of 1993. Came out here by myself. My buddy Brad, who we fish all the time together, he was still a senior in high school. So I came out here and it was a Wednesday. I rented a boat. It was a rainy day. I almost didn't go because I wasn't really feeling that well and I was tired. But I got out here and I was like the only person on the lake, maybe one other person on the lake. And I headed straight back to the back of the buoy line back there in the back corner and started fishing. And was fishing a 6-inch sandstorm worm, Texas rigged, and immediately the day started like no other day I'd ever had. It was pre-spawn fishing and they were just stacked up in this one area. So I ended up getting several fish, 3 to 4 or 5 pounds, and I was just like, wow, this is amazing. I've never had anything like this in my life. And so I kept fishing. And I ended up getting an 8-pound fish. And I race back to the boat dock. And I call my mom because there's no cell phones at that time. And she brings the camera out. And I'm sitting there at the dock. And I take a picture of the 8-pound fish. I'm like, awesome. So I keep the camera. My mom goes home because I have to call her not from my cell phone, but from the pay phone here. And so I go back out, catch a few more fish. And about an hour later, I ended up hooking my first 10-pound bass. And I bring it in and I weigh it. And I remember to this day how giddy I was, just absolutely ecstatic for this fish. And I had called the cast. I said, this is the cast. And I call it. And I ended up catching the biggest fish of my life at that point. And what a great feeling it was. I remember releasing it, just shaking all over. And so I call Brad on the payphone, or actually I don't call Brad, but I call Rancho Bernardo High School. And he was 18, so he could actually check himself out if need be. So I call up Rancho Bernardo High School and I say, this is such and such. I'm Brad's cousin from Chicago and he needs to come pick me up at the airport. I'm stuck here. And they're like, yeah. So I wasn't able to get in touch with them. I ended up catching 16 fish over 3 pounds that day here, including an 8 and a 10, and I cast way out. I mean, I was putting on as much weight or biggest bullet sinkers that I had and trying to get out as far as I could on this rock edge. and I ended up hooking one that was bigger than the 10, and it was just so far away it ended up coming off as it jumped. I remember that fish to this day. But it's those kind of memories that kept me coming back here to Lake Poway. And since then, we ended up catching dozens of fish over 10 pounds here. I only caught 2 dinks today, but there's got so much potential for great things since there hasn't been any fishing here in boats the entire year because of a windstorm earlier in the year. And so as soon as those boats get rolling again, I'm excited to get out here and fish. There's all the spots that I love to fish, and the spawn for next year could be amazing. So 2 dinks, a lot of potential. Time for breakfast. Cheers.